Check out xmg.gg. Huge thanks to XMG for allowing this to happen. Again, guys, welcome back to the XMG Balance Test Pro Invite. I'm Axel Tosh, joined by Axelav here on the MLG stream. By the way, guys, MLG.tv/SC2 is probably the place to go from here on out. Soon we will not be having the Twitch anymore, so that will be the only way to watch. And I think that actually kicks in tomorrow. So just want to give a quick heads up on that. So again, MLG.tv/SC2. Check it out. Give us feedback. Let us know what you think. I'm pretty happy about the new player, honestly.
Yeah, it has its pluses and minuses.
It's very smooth.
It's smooth. It's clear.
Yeah.
Quality's good.
I like it.
It has a built-in Twitter thing, so if you want to tweet about what's going on, you can do it right as part of the player.
Yep, absolutely. So just a quick heads up. I know I wanted to give that warning, but here we are, guys, back into the tournament. This is the 4th best of 3 of the quarterfinals. We were behind schedule, but that last series was a little bit shorter compared to the others, so thankfully we're actually back on schedule for people who are keeping track.
Morrow doing work for us.
Yeah, Morrow did a great job there. He played really well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he does in the next series. But here we are on Alterzim Stronghold, a map we just saw. And this is the first map, actually, between these two gentlemen. The bottom left-hand location, I present your Red Terran player from Team FXO. He is Strelok. Is he still on FXO? Hold on.
No, he's on Navi.
Okay, excuse me, on Navi. Yeah, the moment I said it, I knew it was...
I think FXO got rid of their... They actually pretty much became Navi.
Yeah, that's what it was. So it is Navi.
Yep.
Strelok.
Meanwhile, in the bottom right-hand location of Alterzim Stronghold, we have representing Liquid, hailing from the Netherlands, the Blue Zerg, Rhett.
All right.
You know, I just realized something.
What's up?
On this map, this game, between these players, I hope you guys have ordered some food.
Ah.
Because we could be in for the long haul.
Red is a guy who likes to drone.
Yes, and have you guys seen Strelok's TVZ? He's prone to...
I have a feeling we're about to find out.
And on a new patch with the new... Actually, you know what? Strelok's TVZ got a massive buff. Because one thing Strelok loves to do in TVZ... Now, this is not the best map for it because the bases get really spread out.
Yep.
But he may go for it anyway with the new patch just to test it out. What he loves to do is he loves to play mech, but instead of like the Morrow mech where Morrow played aggressively with Hellbats and Thors, Strelok will just grab a bunch of bases and then he'll go like mass battlecruiser. Which, of course, now that they share both upgrades, is a natural transition. And of course, he's definitely capable of making that work. So we'll see. We'll see if he goes for that. I rarely see Strelok go bio against Zerg. He's a big fan of the mech TVZ. And in fact, if he wins this, we could have all of our Zergs eliminated, I believe.
Oh, that's true, because there's 2 Protosses and a Terran.
Yeah.
And Red is the last Zerg still alive in the tournament.
TLO has fallen to San.
Yep.
San perhaps the favorite to win the whole tournament. Unfortunate for TLO that he ran up against him in round 1. We did see Destiny fall tomorrow, so our 3rd Zerg in the round of 8. Rhett battling to give Zerg representation in the semifinals against Strelok, and this is going to be a great match.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a little while since I've seen a Rhett game.
It has. Oh, he's going to lose an Overlord. Will Strelok show sympathy? You know, he's a sympathetic guy.
No, he's not. Not today.
Not today.
Not against Rhett. He gives you that cold stare that many from Eastern Europe will give to you when you ask for mercy.
Yep.
And he will slaughter that Overlord, of course. He knows. He knows the Zerg. The Zerg will show no mercy to him. And so you show no mercy to the Zerg.
No mercy. Even if it's a new map.
Yep. You know, Rhett trying to get his creep spread out. to potential third base. Looks like he's planning on taking that location.
This map looks like fun. I want to play on it as Zerg.
This looks like a good Protoss map to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maps that get
Well,
this big.
I pretty much only use Nidus when I play Zerg.
Oh, you know what? This actually could be a sneak. There's a lot of spots in this map. Like,
Yeah, man.
for example, if Rhett was the Protoss, you could like Nidus up here. You could Nidus in the back of this space while they're busy, right? You can Nidus down here. And then, of course, you can use Nidus to take the corner expansions.
Yep.
And then you can use that to transfer drones and also reinforce against harassment, right? Nidus very strong on large maps as it gets to the late game. We'll see if Rhett uses that here against Strelok if it gets that far. Strelok, a very fast third command center being constructed under the cover of Hellion Harass. Of course, there's a Cloak Banshee follow-up in the works as well. As Rhett goes straight to Roach War and double Evos. So Rhett perhaps thinking Roaches, perhaps knowing Strelok loves mech.
Of course, the new burrowed Roach that moves is very zippity, very fast.
Oh, indeed.
So we might have to look out for that as well from Rhett. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some safety Roach just to push away the Hellions and keep that third safe.
You know, Rhett already maybe anticipating the Banshees, even without scout information, knowing that this is a map and this is an opponent who would like to do that. We can see
Yes.
there are Spore Crawlers in
Yeah,
his
I feel like
bases.
Roach Hydra with Nidus would be super cool on this map.
And it looks like that's the direction he's going. I think he's just assuming Strelok's going mech even without scouting, just knowing Strelok and knowing this is a new patch as well. Strelok, of course, is going mech. His armory is finished. He's getting that upgrade. Of course, that upgrade will now help the Banshee as well. Important to know, mixing in more Banshees with mech will be stronger in the mid game.
Yep.
Even though he's unable to get harassment done. Meanwhile, 4 additional factories being added in, so a lot of construction going on in Strelok's base. He continues to power out his infrastructure.
Third base on the ground. Starting to work on that too. There's a scan. That's a lot of creep tumors. He doesn't want to lose all those.
You got 2 of the active ones. Of course, there's extra queens there. They can go back to work. Rhett very active in spreading that creep. You can see a lot of active tumors on the top side. Overseer being used to help push that Cloak Banshee back. He wants to protect these tumors, but now there's 2 Banshees. The Hellions can move in as well. But no, Strelok is going to back away, content that he's mining the third base, going up to 6 gas as well. Rhett not missing a beat. Straight for the infestors, potentially Swarm Host, potentially Hive Tech.
Let's see what he goes for. I think Swarm Host.
I don't think this is a hard map to really. Well, you know, against mech, Swarm Hosts are always so good, right? It's hard not to go for them. We'll have to see if he goes straight for Swarm Host. Hydra Den is being made, realizing that Banshees.
Yeah, I don't know about infestors. Unless you try to do sneaky tactics with them.
Oh, yeah. Hit
Can be
squads
good.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Second armory is being built by Strelok.
So the infestation pit is done. Let's see what he's going to go towards.
Oh,
There's the
straight to-
hive. Okay.
So I think he's just going to go Roach Hydra Viper, and then maybe
Yeah.
later, once he has a good economy, he'll go into Swarm Host.
Yep.
Roach Hydra Viper is very good against mech as well. You can abduct Thors and tanks. Blinding Cloud in particular is amazing against tanks. They put more than 1 tank. You know, if they get a couple tanks, inevitably there'll be situations where you can Blinding Cloud 2, maybe even 3 with a single Blinding Cloud. Of course, each Viper could potentially use 2 of those. Hellion for a Roach. Thors are being made in bulk, 3 at a time here from Strelok. Also getting a medevac. So we can see some drop play perhaps with the Hellbats. Perhaps just being utilized to heal the Hellbats during engagements, although I do think we will see some drop play on a map like this.
These guys just bunkering down. Mutual respect for each other. And this is kind of what we talked about a little bit earlier. How many drones does Red have?
He's got 95.
Not bad.
Yeah. That's a moderate amount for Red.
For Red, yeah. Generally, like 120, probably.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, for some players, they would say that's an extraordinarily large amount, but for Rhett,
No.
he's been pretty moderate with himself, and that's of course because he's going Roach Hydra. Roach Hydra very supply intensive. You need to save a little more supply for the units when going Roach Hydra as opposed to some higher tech composition. Meanwhile, Hellions are trying to scout. Has Strelok verified the speed of the Hive Tech? Because Hive Tech could give him a nightmare. He comes in here, oh, he sees the Evos. That only means one thing. 3
Yeah,
Evos
3
being
Evos.
built at this point in the game.
Yep.
No, he's not just starting to get 3 upgrades at once. He's clearly going for Vipers. What's Strelok's reaction to Vipers? Starting to add in a Viking at a time. And he's building a reactor so he can reactor out Vikings. You're going to need a lot of Air Force to deal with Vipers. Very, very effective against mech is the Zerg Viper. No, okay, just now taking the force. Strelok, he's playing it slow, man. He's taking his time. He's a patient guy.
Take it slow.
Battle cruiser operational.
Battle cruiser operation.
Strelok known for his fondness for the battle cruisers. His plight emulates many of their vocal commands.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
But now he's pushing out.
Do a little poke. Little pressure here.
I'm a little worried. Vipers could really wreck this push. 2 more starports being added so we can add in mechanists behind us. Perhaps just trying to clear out some creep, push Ret back. Meanwhile, Red is posturing around. Tanks are starting to leapfrog forward to siege mode.
Vipers lurking.
Uh-oh, who are they going to abduct?
Or might be Blinding Clouds. Going to get some tanks. Going to snag some Thors in there. The Hydra's now going to do their damage. Strelok going to turn around and going to try to engage us. The Hellbats trying to get up close to dish out the damage to the Hydras and the Roaches. But Rhett's just going to back away. He's happy to buy some time. And again, tanks shoot a little bit faster once in siege mode.
Yeah, you know, Rhett definitely got the upper hand. You can see units lost. Abducts are great. But Strelok preserved enough of his army that I don't think he's incredibly unhappy. Of course, trading those units behind that, his starports can kick in, and with the new patch, his air is going to be more heavily upgraded with the shared upgrades.
Yep.
Definitely want to increase that Viking count to deal with the Vipers, and also Broodlords are always a big threat if we go in mech. Those could come into play later down the road. No Fusion Core yet from Strelok, which is kind of interesting. I think he lost enough units. He's really focusing on replacing his losses right now. Or perhaps going to go Ravens before transitioning to battlecruisers. Where are all his starports? He's got 2 here and then the one with the reactor. He is going for the Ravens. Not quite confident to go straight for the battlecruisers quite yet. Meanwhile, Rat...
Nice abduct.
Aw, poor medevac. Rhett's still looking to get some trades. Rhett also has Enduring Locust upgraded, so he can get transition to Swarm Host easily. A lot of resources in the bank for Rhett, of course, due to his 91 drone count on 4 bases. Oh no, Blinding Cloud on the Planetary Fortress. It cannot shoot. Repairs are going down, but there's too much damage.
Strelok coming in here with his army, though. He has the high ground. He's going to back up because the Blinding Cloud wants nothing to do with that. Sieging up some of those tanks. Going to try to pummel this Roach Hydra army to death. And Red, there's only one way out. Actually, I think he misclicked there. He didn't think there were rocks, and there's nowhere to run for him.
Yes, Red is in trouble. He's backed up against the wall, having to take this engagement. Kills the Hellbats. Okay. Actually, wait a minute.
This isn't too terrible.
It's out of range of the siege tanks in the back, and so Red's taking a decent trade here. Is the Thor going to go down? Yes, it does.
Whoa, look at the production tab.
21 Swarmos in production for Rat.
Wow.
Of course, he does have to be careful because there's more Banshees being added in by Strelok. He needs something to get rid of those Banshees.
Queens.
How many Queens does he have, and will he be able to be on the map to support the Swarmos? You know, Ret, he's reinforcing with Roaches. Now only 2 Hydras in production. In fact, Ret, he only has 3 Queens on the map. And he's building 2 Hydralists. Whereas Strelok, kind of anticipating perhaps a Swarmos transition. Strelok is adding in Banshees, and this could buy him the time he needs, because currently he's unable to max. He's just trying to reestablish that 4th base. Strelok needs time. Ret does not want to give him that time. Swarmos charging forward.
Also have Hellions swinging around the map, getting some scouting done. Going to try to harass some mineral lines, but the story here is going to be those Swarm Hosts and how much damage they can do. Going to start sieging up outside of Strelok's 3rd base. Again, it's important to have some sort of supplementation here because once the Banshees come in.
Yeah, I'm surprised Strelok's not sending out the Banshee-Raven combination to work on those Swarmos, perhaps not realizing that Ret's anti-air is non-existent. Except for a pair of Hydralists, which of course 2 Banshees can take down the Hydra pair easily. Tanks are sieging up. Meanwhile, of course, while the Locusts are pushing towards the front, we do have a Roach counterattack into 4th base. SCVs are fleeing for their lives. Strelok appears to be in a lot of trouble here as Ret has so much resources in the bank.
Yeah.
And doesn't even need them as, of course, the Locusts are free to replace. Roach is being cleaned up, but I don't think Ret's crying too much about that loss.
So his main base is about to mine out. He's got a greater spire on the way. This is Rhett we're talking about.
Yes.
But he's also establishing, he just established a base at the top right. So back home, economy is just fine. Going to be focusing a lot on this frontal attack, mixing in some Vipers, mixing in some Hydras.
More Banshees being added. I'm still curious to why he's got 5 Banshees. He could tear this apart. I think he just hasn't realized there's no anti-air there. Oh, he's scanning now. Is he going to realize it? Meanwhile, another Roach counterattack.
I mean, there are 2 Hydras.
Yes. You know, Hydras can be scary. Perhaps he's overestimating. Oh, here comes the Fusion Core and 2 additional starports. This is what I've been waiting for. Strelok, known for his usage of the battlecruiser. Oh, here it comes. Realizing his opponent is lacking in anti-air.
There's a scan. Swarm hosts running for their lives. Hydras are just now arriving, though. But the Overseer was taken out by the Vikings, so Rhett is going to have to scurry back home, mixing in some more Hydras to his composition, but he's got to be careful about what he builds, because he's essentially maxed right now. There we go, deciding to use the rest of his supply on Hydras.
I think that may be a wise choice. Corruptors or Mulus also can work against Banshees, but with all the Ravens and Vikings, I'm not sure if that could work. You know, Rhett may be in trouble. This is a very substantial air force from Strelok. Rhett, though, with so much resources in the bank. Locusts, again, are being sent forth. Meanwhile, I do think Strelok is just pushing straight forward. Tanks are holding the Locusts at bay.
Slow and methodical.
Are these? No, the Hellbats aren't going to go anywhere. He's just pushing a creep back, knowing that on creep, Locusts are much more dangerous as they close the distance. Hellbats, be careful.
Uh-oh.
No, he may be suiciding those on purpose.
Oh, I see.
To replace with battle cruisers.
Sure.
Here coming some interest.
Ducks.
Okay, so the Hydras.
He lost the Viper there.
He did. Remember, there are some point defense drones, so the Hydras aren't able to quite do as much damage as they want to. And meanwhile, the Vikings take out, I think, 2 Vipers and an Overseer. So a lot of Banshees are still alive, in fact. There's still 6 on the field. We do have, I think that was something being rallied in from the top. I missed that. Strelok's going to back away, saying, you know what? Nice. My Ravens are out of energy. A lot of my supply, even though I'm near max, is in units being produced. There's a little bit of a Roach counterattack going here.
I like that.
I think the planner helped defend that. He probably should repair that, I would imagine.
Wait, I think those might be Roaches from before.
They've been burrowing and running away for a while. Is he going to lose the orbital? That would be embarrassing. Okay.
He lost the orbital.
Mildly.
So, for those, you can lift that up.
Yes, or you can also repair it.
Yep.
Strelok distracted.
Well,
he's
building a billion command centers everywhere else.
And he's building battlecruiser.
Yeah.
Battlecruiser operational.
19
Battlecruiser operational.
On the way.
Ooh. Of course, Rhett made supply with that.
Oh my god.
He made spore crawlers and canceled them.
228 out of 200 in supply. You won't see that every day, ladies and gentlemen.
Some people suicide drones so they can get a stronger max. Rhett says no. I will keep the drones alive and use my wily Zerg techniques.
Yep.
I do think Rhett maybe benefited from having a drone count of about 30 to 40 at this point. He has so many minerals in the bank. But the army of Strelok could be a problem. You can see your bow players actually still have a lot of drones, or harvesters in general. In fact, Rhett's max is almost bigger. Like you mentioned, 228 supply. The Ravens could be key here. This is a very intimidating force here. Here come the battlecruisers.
Oh, there's an abduct.
Here's Yamamoto's
for the Hunter Seeker missiles too. Got to be careful about those. Point defense drone placed down. And I don't see Rhett breaking that force right there.
No, you know, the Corruptors took a beating. He lost all the Hydras in a second. The Corruptors were able to retreat, but it's important to note Corruptors are 0-0, but because the mech and air share upgrades, these are 3-3 battlecruisers. Corruptors really, it's not that they kill battlecruisers quickly. The reason why they're good against battlecruisers is because their base armor is 2. And battlecruisers' base damage against air is only 6 per shot. Of course, if it's 6 per shot, now it's turned to 9 with 3 attack upgrades. So the upgrade differential is actually making it so that the Corruptors are not really the counter to the battlecruisers that they originally should be. Oh.
Banshees found the Swarm Host.
And that is not good for the Swarm Host. No detection there, so even if the Corruptors got into position. A lot of Swarm Hosts going down. One of these command centers was canceled by a small Hydra force. Another one's a planetary, another one's a planetary. So overall, Strelok expanding everywhere. Rhett doing the same thing, though. Meanwhile, scanning ahead is Strelok, trying to figure out what his opponent is up to.
What composition would you go for as Ret? Or how would you kind of try to piece this game together moving forward from here?
I would just get a billion corruptors.
Yep.
But the problem is he's too far behind in upgrades. If you're behind in upgrades, it's very difficult to combat this as Zerg. A couple infestors can help. He can soften up the Vikings with fungals. Here come the corruptors.
Oh, point defense drone.
Oh, but some blinding clouds are going to help the Locust connect. Of course, Yamato's one-shotting corruptors every time they get a chance. Depleting the count. A single battlecruiser falls. A second one may fall as well. But now the Vikings are in position. A second one does fall. But there's a Seeker missile, and almost all the corruptors are dead. You can see with the upgrade differential, the battlecruisers tear them to pieces. Meanwhile, siege tanks take out this base from the low ground.
Wow.
Need to retreat from those locusts, losing a few siege tanks. But Strelok mostly focusing on producing air units now. He continues to push in here. And a nice angle. Meanwhile, another battlecruiser reinforcing. The tank's being used to take out another one of Red's bases, and Red is in shambles. He has so many resources. He doesn't know what to spend them on. Too many drones, too many swarmos, not enough corruptors. Here's some Hydratus, but of course battlecruisers make quick work of those. Here comes a lot of corruptors.
There we go. Like I would see, oh wow, Viper's getting taken out immediately, but I like he tried to abduct the battlecruiser. You isolate those units, then you target fire them with the corruptors. Love seeing stuff like that, but again, the upgrades are in such a place where it's like these corruptors are washing up against his army. It looks like eventually he'll clean this up.
Yes.
But this is like, if we're talking about cost efficiency wise or units lost wise, like how much a supply of that was Ret that Strelok took out, like efficiency. If we're talking about efficiency.
I mean, it's crazy because in one hand, Ret still has a lot of resources banked, but the gas is the important number. Both players are very low on gas now, whereas Strelok throughout this, he killed, you know, 2 of Ret's bases, in fact 3 Ret's bases, really depleting Ret's gas income. Take a look at the incomes. You can see Ret's gas income and a third of Strelok's. Oh no, battlecruiser misrallied, gonna try to get a Yamato off to take down one corruptor with it. Tanks are gonna retreat, so they're gonna stay safe. Meanwhile, in the production tab, you can see Strelok continuing to reproduce units, battlecruisers and ravens being produced. The corruptor count is pretty insane though. You can see this here. It's 30 corruptors against only 3 battlecruisers, but behind us, Strelok's got 9 ravens. Those can absolutely turn the tables on the corruptors. Point defense drones and hunter seeker missiles, both very effective. Oh, and he's adding Vikings in too, so if the corruptors try to run from point defense drone or from hunter seekers and point defense drones, Viking volleys will whittle down their number. But Ret seeking a counterattack, knowing that Strelok has many bases, and he needs to try to take some of them out. But the tanks,
wow!
When the swarmos are out of position, the tanks can come into play, and Strelok is gladly going to trade a base for a base. As Strelok has about 30 to spare.
Look at the kills on some of those tanks, by the way.
Oh, it's probably insane. Mostly Locust, of course. 24-52. That's a commander. Many commanders in this force.
And they're not done.
No.
This is a one-way trip for these tanks.
It very well potentially could be, but as roaches are being produced, tanks will make short work of the roaches. This is Ret's army. This is all he's got. He's got a good amount of brood lords, but did he overmake them? Because Strelok is going to engage with just air.
Look out for the Hunter Seekers.
Ret
lay those down onto the Swarm host pretty easily. Actually going to put down point defense drones for now. Now the Corruptor's going to be returning forward. Are we going to see any Hunter Seekers on top of these Corruptors? It could be catastrophic, but no, not just yet. The point defense drones doing a lot, absorbing a lot of damage out of those Corruptors.
There's a couple points. Oh, Jesus. The Hunter Seekers just ripped the Corruptors to shreds, and Strelok wins the air engagement.
He just killed
everything. Of course, he did. The Broodlords and Infestors will follow. Meanwhile, the tank force is still pushing into the main. We've got a lot of commanders there. And that's the GG. Strelok.
Units lost at the end there, 52,378 to 30,807. That's cost efficiency there for Strelok. Ravens making those work, and he just had so many bases too. It wasn't too big of an issue to really repopulate his army.
Yeah, you know, it's not that he ever had a giant bankroll, because anytime he got resources, he just reinvested them into more command centers and expansions.
Sure.
But he always had enough, like you said, to remax when he needed to. And that's just the power of Strelok there. He gets that death ball going, and he knows how to make mech work. He knows that air transition is kind of what you need to do against swarm hosts.
Right.
It's really hard to take on swarm hosts on the ground, and if you mix in Vipers, you can't. But what Strelok does is he uses the ground force in the mid game, then he goes to that mass air transition, which is very difficult for a Zerg player to deal with. if it's being controlled as well as Strelok does it.
How do you think the new change ended up affecting that in the long run? As
Oh,
far as
you know-
I think that's one of the biggest changes in the patch as far as
Yeah.
combining those upgrades.
You know, I think in the long run, it's not quite as big because what Strelok does is he'll actually just get air attack anyway. He'll actually neglect the armor a bit. But what it was big at is that the Banshees in the mid game really helped a lot. And then I guess the first Battlecruiser wave was instantly 3-3, where normally Strelok's like 2-3.
Sure.
With that, so and also it saves him resources. So overall, it's like a 1 or 2 Battlecruiser advantage, which that's a.
Do you think a lot of people watching this right now will do a bit more mech?
I hope so, because Battlecruisers are awesome.
Ravens are awesome.
Ravens are awesome. Thors are awesome. Hellbats are awesome.
Don't do this against me, though, on the ladder. All right, guys, we got to take a quick break. We're watching Strelok versus Rhett. This is the final quarterfinal of the day. The winner advances on to the semifinal to play against Destiny. Excuse me. To play against Morrow. I apologize. Right now, Strelok is up 1-0. He's 1 win away from advancing on. Rhett has some work to do. He's got to win 2. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.